It's the National Football League on EA Sports,
where we'll see a couple of teams who joined the league in 1950.
It's the Niners and the Browns, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
Now, from the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cleveland, Ohio, EA Sports proud to welcome you to Huntington Bank Field, the home of the Browns. So good to have you with us. Mike Tirico, Greg Olson up here in the booth. And Greg, this is one of those games that is a little old school. Maybe if it was in black and white, it would be fitting, right? We got a couple of teams who love to hand it off and see their running backs do it on the ground.
And it's just so cool, and you mentioned it, Mike. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, this would have been the norm on any given weekend, but we're seeing the game trend to more of a passing-style offense. If you want to score points, it mostly comes through the air. So for these two kind of throwback offenses that rely so heavily on their running backs, for anybody that loves old-school power football, I think we're in for a treat.
The veteran kicker, Dustin Hopkins, out to get things started. And off we go from Cleveland. This taken in at the 8-yard line. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The 49ers offense set to get to work for the first time. Led out by the last pick in the draft in 2022. Iowa State's Brock Purdy at quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant. Well, I think it's safe to say, Mike, he has been anything but irrelevant since arriving in the NFL, and he is living proof. It doesn't matter if you're drafted first overall or, in his case, with the very last pick. What does matter is what you do with the opportunity once it's given to you. Nothing real flashy about his game. He simply gets the job done, and that's exactly what his team is counting on him today over these next 60 minutes.
And his initial touch, good for a couple. It'll be second down. Shotgun snap to Purdy. Open man downfield is Kittle. A great connection there. They're going to bring it down inside the 35-yard line.
When we had a chance to talk to the coach the other day, what did he tell us, Mike? He said, I want to come out and be aggressive right from the start. And with that big shot downfield here early, I think it's pretty safe to say that's exactly what they have done. Now the key is, can they turn that explosive play into an opening drive touchdown and really get off to a fast start?
Set to go now on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Purdy. That's caught. Christian McCaffrey. And he will not get away. Terrific open field tackle. Gets him down behind the line.
We call them safeties because they're usually the last line of defense, but not here. On this play, he's up there at the line of scrimmage attacking the offense, and he takes him down for a negative play.
Opening carry of the game for the versatile Christian McCaffrey. He'll take this down inside the 30. That was Jordan Hicks who got him down. 21 is the line to gain as we hit 3rd down. Purdy. And this one complete on the sideline. Good footwork to stay in bounds, but he is just shy of the 1st down, and that brings up 4th down.
This is why the timing of these routes is so critical. If that ball is thrown a little bit later, he's unable to keep his feet in bounds, but instead the quarterback is on time and accurate, and the receiver does a nice job not only securing the catch, but ensuring that both feet remain in bounds. A lot of times as an offensive player, you come off the field, you're not thrilled to end a drive like this with a field goal, but I think in this case, you can label it a success. You were able to operate your offense. You were able to quiet this crowd just a little bit and come away with an early lead.
3 points on that opening drive. We'll see the response as the kick's away. On the return, it's Jerome Ford. And he'll be taken down right at the 29-yard line. The Cleveland offense set to take the field for the first time. Leading them out, the veteran quarterback first-round pick back in 2017, Deshaun Watson.
There was a time, and it wasn't very long ago, Mike, that this guy was trending towards becoming one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. He has to find a way to get back to stacking strong performances, one after another, and keep his team in the hunt. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, but if he plays well, his team is always going to have a strong chance of winning.
On the carry, this is Nick Chubb. A gain of 4 as he's taken down. Here's 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, Watson. He'll get this complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he's down inside the 40-yard line.
One of the things that makes him one of the best receivers in the NFL, Mike, is his ability to create separation downfield. He makes it so easy for his quarterback to not only find him, but to constantly create a nice throwing window like he did right there.
Now a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Watson going to give it to Chubb. Whoa!
This just shows why you can't count on just one guy to take him down. He's a powerful enough runner. You gotta have guys coming in support when that first hit is made. It takes a team effort to stop him, especially once he gets going.
They'll come to the line now on 2nd and 2. Shotgun snap to Watson. That's complete. It's Cedric Tillman. And they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a 1st down after a gain of 7. So just a lone field goal in the first quarter of play. The Niners have the early advantage. And we're back to Cleveland in a minute. First and 10. They'll run. This is Jerome Ford. And he's going to be brought down just outside the 10-yard line.
We've seen this trend throughout the league, Mike. Offensively, everyone wants to have depth at the running back position. Yeah, it's great to have one guy, but if you could have 2 or 3 that could all come in and contribute on the ground, that's the goal, and we're seeing it here.
Njoku, the tight end, is the one in motion. Here's a handoff to Chubb. He is in. Nick Chubb. Touchdown, Cleveland.
When you start talking about the qualities of a top-tier back in the NFL, Mike, we all talk about size, speed, the ability to keep your feet, the ability to have balance at contact. But the part we don't talk enough about is patience, understanding the blocking scheme, the timing, when to hit the hole, as much as what hole to hit. And I think you get a great example of what that looks like when it all comes together. He takes advantage of the scheme, and next thing you know, he hits his head on the goalpost.
Dustin Hopkins now to add the extra point. He gets it to go, and the Browns move out to a 7-3 lead. Here's Hopkins now after the touchdown. He'll boot this one away. This one taken at the 7. And he's down at the 23, and that's where the offense will take over. The Niners offense ready to get going with their second possession. They trail by 4. Touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Purdy. He'll complete this one. That's Deebo Samuel. And he's close to a 1st down. It's a gain of 9. Nice pitch and catch on 1st down.
The receiver thought he had a nice soft spot in that zone coverage, and he settles down to give a nice target to the quarterback. But the defense had eyes on him the entire time. Secure rally tackle prevents that from turning into a big play.
On 2nd down, it's McCaffrey. And he will have the 1st down. Not a huge run, but enough to move the chains.
This offense, they're not interested in taking the deep shot here. 2nd and short, the way they're running the ball, pound the rock, reset the downs, and just keep the drive alive.
So it'll be 1st and 10. They'll scrimmage at the 33. Again, it's McCaffrey. Look at him move away from a tackler as he winds up gaining 7 yards. Nice run there. Here's 2nd and 3 to go. From the shotgun, it's Purdy. A short one there, caught by Kittle. And they'll get him down after a gain of 5, but that is enough for a 1st down.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
A 1st down throw for Purdy. There's a throw right side. It's going to be incomplete.
Up until that incompletion, they've done a really nice job on this drive, Mike, picking up fresh sets.
And I believe the referee was buzzed by the replay officials, indicating let's get a closer look at this. They trigger this automatically in the last 2 minutes of the half. So the official upstairs and the replay center in New York get the second look, and indeed this call will be overturned. On 2nd down, Purdy. Now he'll run it. Taking advantage of the room to run, a gain of 19 on the scramble.
You know, Mike, I like everything about this play except the very end. You've already picked up good yardage. You've already picked up the 1st down. Now get down on the ground and protect yourself. There's no reason to take those shots.
Here's 1st and 10. Purdy works out of the pistol. Samuel has it working the middle. And he will get into the end zone. Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, 49ers.
We're seeing this so much all across the NFL, Mike, is the value placed on a receiver being able to turn into a runner after they're able to secure the catch. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But if you want to survive in this league as a wide receiver, you have to be able to make plays like this after the catch. And great job there by the quarterback being accurate, and great job by the receiver running after he makes the catch.
Now Jake Moody for the extra point. He knocks it through. And the 49ers are on top. It's now 10-7. So, following that touchdown, Moody is back out to kick it off. Pierre Strong on the return. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Browns offense about ready to get going on their second possession. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides as this drive kicks off with 1st and 10. From the shotgun, here's Watson. Nowhere to get away, and he's going to go down. The Browns going to use the first of their timeouts here. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Here's Watson. Now sets up a screen for Chubb. Great timing to call the screen. It's a gain of 17 and a 1st down.
And this is why most teams, Mike, decide to take the ball first after the halftime break, because they want to be able to control this middle 4. At the end of the first half, you can use your timeouts. You can use some strategy to steal an extra possession. If they're able now to go down and come away with points, they'll have a chance to double it up again right after the halftime break.
And they get this one across midfield to the 47-yard line. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. Watson to throw. And he's going to run out of time. They get to him and bring him down.
The offense goes from feeling really good about the previous play with a real nice pickup to then on the ensuing play ending up going the complete opposite direction. Really nice job here by the defense immediately getting back on track. And what do the coaches say? Just play the next play, and that's exactly what they did.
The pressure gets there again, and again he goes down. Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. Not wanting to risk another sack, they're going to play it safe with a run. The Niners will use the first of their timeouts, and they stop it with 19 seconds to go in this opening half. So on 4th down, the lefty, Corey Bojorquez to punt for Cleveland. Ricky Pearsall deep for the Niners. And he'll get forward a few yards on the return. And that's where the offense will take over. They'll start this one with a 3 tight end look. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. He'll work his way ahead for a gain of about 4. So, halftime here, it's the visitors, the 49ers, who are on top. As we'll get you down to Orlando now, that's where the coach is, Jonathan Coachman, and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Mike, thank you. More from you and Greg in a moment, but for now, welcome one and all to our EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This was a very level first half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break.
Okay, Coach, thanks a bunch. We'll see which team's adjustment's going to pay dividends here. Likely going to play a big role in who wins this one. Three points, all that separates these two sides, as half number 2 kicks off. Here comes Ford on the return. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Browns offense ready to get going again. They'll have it first in this third quarter. They'll start out first down and 10. Three tight ends in the game to start the drive. On the ground, it's Chubb to start this drive. And the struggles in the running game continue. They take him down behind the line.
With the struggles they had running the ball in the first half, Mike, it makes sense that they're trying here early in the second to get this ball carrier going. But this last run's not going to do him any favors. Another rush, another loss of yards.
To throw on second down is Watson. That's over the middle and intercepted. That's the linebacker, Fred Warner.
Well, Mike, I think it's pretty clear what the message was by this head coach at halftime. He said, listen, guys, we're behind. We're trailing. We're going to come out early in this second half and be aggressive from the get-go and cut into this deficit. But oftentimes, reckless decision-making, over-aggressive play calling leads to turnovers. Now, this defense finds themselves heading back out onto the field a little earlier than expected, but they need to hold serve and keep this score right where it is.
Ball rests at the 37. It's first and 10. Throwing from the gun is Purdy. He's close to a first down. To gain a 9. Nice pitch and catch on first down.
And this is where the versatility of the tight end position really starts coming into play. Not only do they have to line up with their hand on the ground, but they can occasionally split out in the slot. And man, they're too fast for linebackers, and a lot of times they're too big for defensive backs.
Throwing on second down is Purdy. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
You can't fault the quarterback on this one, Mike. He really didn't even have much of an opportunity. By the time he hit the top of his drop and got his eyes downfield, the defense was all over him, and he really had no choice but to just get that ball out of his hand and live to play another snap.
They'll put Ayuk in motion. Needing a yard, they throw with Purdy. And this is going to be incomplete. That is great work there, making things difficult defensively. It'll set up a fourth down.
Every so often, Mike, you can see these offenses, and it looks like the passing game gets a little bit too predictable. And as the defense continues to flood the back end of these zones with extra defenders, they're continuing to force this quarterback to not only make some difficult throws, but to put the ball in harm's way. And this is what you want. I mean, you clearly have the advantage, but you want to continue to apply pressure. Can you score every time you get the ball? They're able to do that here. They tack on 3 and extend their lead.
Moody comes back on the field after making the field goal. He sets a kickoff. On the return, this is Strong. And a solid run back there. He'll get this out past the 30-yard line. Now it's the Browns' turn as they get set to take over again on offense. The deficit, 6 points. So a touchdown here would be mighty nice for the offense. See what they can do on this drive. 1st and 10. The drive starts with a carry by 4. And the woes in the running game continue. They're going to subtract yards there. A loss on the play.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
On the ground, it's Chubb. Has an opening past the 40. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. They get 24 on that one. 1st down, Cleveland.
The challenge of playing a running back like this is you feel like you have him under control. You're doing a nice job putting a lid on him, and then all of a sudden, he's got a big spark play like this. That's the challenge. These guys are just so talented. You can only keep them down so long. That was a really nice run.
The hole closes quickly. He'll pick up about 3.
Nice job by the defense. They had that one well read from the beginning, Mike. Someone's responsible for the running back, but the key here was the defender responsible for the quarterback. Stays with him, keeps him to a short gain.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. That's into the hands of Judy on the right side. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up 3rd down. Watson. That one intercepted. Picked off by Diamador Lenore. And he is going to bring this one back. A DB's dream. A pick 6 for touchdown. What a time for a pick 6 for the defense. As the other team is trying to get themselves right back in this one, the defense extends the margin with the pick 6.
Yeah, just a critical moment. You find yourself on defense, Mike, trying to hang on to this lead. And not only do you do that, you pick 6 them, and you're able to extend that lead.
And now you get the pick 6, and right on the heels of that, the offense comes out to go for 2. The pressure gets there, and down he goes. A sack.
So they decide to put the ball in the air, which I don't mind on this 2-point try, but the execution was just a little bit off, and it's not going to work out in their favor this time around.
So, following that touchdown, Moody is back out to kick it off. Here comes Ford on the return. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Browns offense and quarterback Deshaun Watson getting set for their next drive. And this defense has really had their way so far, intercepting him twice, forced into a number of bad throws, and generally the D has just made it tough to operate all game long. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Back to throw is Watson. open man, and that's Tillman. And he's going to be taken down at the 37.
Whatever they've talked about in the locker room at the halftime break seems to have worked. They've come out with a new established energy. You could see it when they took the field. Now this offense seems to be building on it because with that chunk play, just a little bit of rhythm that they can build off of. They got a long way to go to get back into this game, but so far off to a good start.
Quick throw here is complete.
Receiver just finds himself in a really nice groove, and there's these weird times in the game, Mike, where it just seems like every ball comes your way, every play they call, you're wide open, and you just find yourself in one of those grooves that athletes talk about. So they got to continue to ride the hot hand because right now on that field, there's no mistaking who it is.
So we are through 3. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. An enviable spot to operate from. Here's 2nd and inches. A give to Ford on the zone read. And he's going to have the first down yardage. Across the 50 to the 48.
2nd down at these distances, Mike, you pretty much anticipate a pass, and I think that's what the defense was lined up thinking. In this case, they leave a little too much room on the ground, and the offense is able to pick up a first down.
On first down, it's Watson. There's a short throw caught by Njoku. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5.
So the hope is when you call these underneath drag routes, you're trying to have your tight end come out the backside of the defense in space. So when you put the ball on him early, it leads to big yards after the catch. In this case, they don't get the real big play they were hoping for, but they'll definitely take it.
He'll tuck it and take off. And they'll take this down inside the 35.
They got to do a better job of keeping the quarterback contained in the pocket all week, Mike, against mobile quarterbacks. You talk about rushing as a group. This time they get a little undisciplined with their rush lane integrity, and he makes them pay.
This throw left is complete with Judy. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. As the athletic training staff looks at him, we'll step away for a moment. They'll work now on 2nd and 4. Throwing is Watson. They'll look to set up the screen here. And they'll get him down after a gain of 5, but that is enough for a first down. A play fake. Now Watson to throw. The ball deflected at least a couple of times, but it'll fall to the ground. It's incomplete.
You have to come down with those opportunities. You're not going to get your hands on the ball very often as a defensive player. And when you do, let alone in the end zone, those are plays you just have to make.
Throwing again is Watson. Hit as he throws, and it is incomplete. Just couldn't deliver that one the way he wanted to. Not really sure if there was much there anyways. We do know it'll be 3rd down.
This has really been the story of this entire game, Mike. I mean, this pass rush has had the advantage over the offense pretty much from the jump, and they've already recorded a couple of sacks, a handful of close calls, and it's the pressure in the backfield is why this team finds themselves with the lead here late in this ballgame. This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
Now or never, they'll throw on 4th down. That is caught at the 3. And they're going to get this all the way down inside the 5.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late.
Now, 1st and goal. They'll drop to throw. And they get to him and finally bring him down. It will go down as a sack.
That 1st and goal sack now changes everything defensively, Mike. You imagine that you're in a 4-down territory where the offense is going to try to take advantage of the field position and punch it in over the goal line. Now, can you hold up on 2nd and 3rd down and come away with forcing a field goal, which in this situation...
That is caught by the tight end, David Njoku. Touchdown, Browns.
Well, that was step 1. The offense did their job, get this thing back within 1 possession, so they're still alive. But now they've got to find a way to get a little bit of luck and find a way to get the ball back, and it's not going to be easy.
Hopkins now to tack on the extra point. He's got it. And the Browns have cut the deficit to 5. A 1-score game late, and you figure they got to have this one as they'll try an onside kick.
All right, so you take your shot, you don't get it. But now your defense has to save the day. You've got all 3 timeouts. You've got to get a stop here, force them to punt the ball back, and give your offense a chance to win the game.
The Niners offense ready to get back at it. They'll have a short field, looking to build on the lead. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's McCaffrey. And he finds a little bit of space. He'll take this forward for a gain of 4. Here's a 2nd and 6. They run once more with McCaffrey. And he'll get this ahead. Gain of about 4. And it leads to 3rd down. Motion man is the tight end going right. They'll try to run for it with McCaffrey. That's going to be pretty close. Looks like he's got it, and he does. 1st down. The defense still with all 3 timeouts at their disposal as the quarterback's down to a knee. So, a win here for our visitors, the 49ers. They were forced to travel cross-country. They get the early start, 10 a.m. on their body clocks. They're happy now. They come away with the victory. So, that'll just about do it for Greg Olson and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. So long, everybody.